Hello, people. I am back. Let's hope that the gremlins don't cut out this live like they did the other one when I was just getting into some pivotal points there. So yeah, we'll just wait for some people to come on. Don't forget, guys, hit the like, please. Helps me out. And don't forget, as usual, if you'd like to work with me, check out my website, transcendingtimes.org. I've also got my course there if you want to help bust up these entities. And we've got some of the nasty crew in there. I do the monthly live Q&As. So the training's ongoing in there. We've got a really good group together. So check that out. And yeah, we'll get into some stuff today, some interesting stuff as normal. Hi, Julie from Peterborough. Don't forget, guys, put your questions in the chat. As always, the lives are as good as you make them. Otherwise, I just ramble on about things like NPCs. I've got a few experiences that I want to share about that. But yeah, put your questions in. I'll do my best to answer as best as I can. Entities, matrix, soul trick, digital BS, anything that you want to ask. Let's see what we can work out together. So yeah, we've got 16 people on, and yeah, we'll just wait for some more people to come on and see what we can get into. So yeah, basically, where shall I start? Yeah, so I wanted to start. I like talking about this issue. NPCs, it's getting weirder and weirder to the point where it's almost like, and I don't know if you guys are finding the same, it's almost like you're invisible to some people. It's almost like you don't exist. When I'm going out and about, it's literally like it's literally like being on a different timeline these days. Now, of course, I'm not saying that, I'm better than them or anything like that, but it's really weird. I'm just finding that, you'll go to say something or ask something, and it's almost like you get a bit of a blank look or a blank stare. And I had the whole noise issue on a coach where I was politely asking someone to to just like turn the volume down on their phone. And it's just like I wasn't even there. It was just bizarre. So I don't know how you guys are finding it, but it's really weird. Maybe that is what is kind of going on. Maybe there is this kind of like this shift in consciousness, and yeah, it's maybe they're kind of going one way and we're going the other, and we can't kind of see each other. It's really weird. So. Yeah, we've got 27 people on here, guys. So please put your questions in the chat. Please let me know of your experiences. Let me know how you're getting on with people out there in general. And obviously, there's been a lot of change over the last few years since the introduction of the poke in the arm. People have become less self-aware, for sure. Less caring, less empathy. And I think those pokes in the arm definitely did something to people where it's kind of taken some of the humanity out of people. It's really bizarre. You can really notice it as the months and years go by. So let me see what questions we got. Crystal says, like to know more about the soul trick and how to avoid coming back. Soul truck. Yeah, I call it soul trick. I don't like to call it soul trap because, that just implies that we're trapped here forever and there's no way out and we're doomed, basically. And I don't believe that to be the case. So, I mean, the first part of that is to really understand and do your due diligence as to what is going on when we pass over. Once you study this stuff and you see the tricks of the matrix, then it loses its power. I mean, there's that old saying, isn't there, that the truth will set you free. And I really believe that is the case, because there's no way that you're getting out of the soul trick without spending the time doing the research and looking at all the manipulations and the deceptions of what happens when we pass over. And so when you do that, and you do that due diligence, and you take the time and effort and care, I mean, when you're putting hours into this stuff, I mean, for some of us, it's been months, years, decades. That really, it really pre-arms you and provides a shield of protection, because once you see these patterns and you see how they trick people back round, then, like I say, it loses its power. So, you know, we know by now that it's pretty much a given not to go to the false light, which you know, I believe has something to do with the moon, where they kind of love bomb you with this, what I call false light frequency, which kind of stuns you. It puts you in like a rabbit in a headlight scenario. A little bit like being love bombed by a narcissist or something like that, where you just feel this overwhelming, like, fake love and warmth. Here goes the dog barking. I've got an NPC dog here just as I'm starting to talk. It's been crickets all day here. It's been lovely. It's been so quiet. As soon as I jump on here, you know, it's just it's the same with clients. You know, I had a few sessions this morning. Could we get on Zoom in the morning? I had to send about 3 or 4 links to one client before we could actually get on. Yeah, it's really interesting. Once you see it, you see it. So yeah, it's going back to what I was saying. It's, yeah, obviously you don't want to go to the light. I mean, for me now, I'm of the opinion that it's more than just kind of escaping. Of course, we want to escape and get out of here, and you know, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not taking away the importance of doing that work and learning that. But for me, I'm at the point where, you know, this system is just too evil to exist. It really is. I just, on a soul level, even if I was to get out of here, I've said this before, I just, you know, it's, imagine it, put it like this, right? Imagine you, there's an abuser in your home, right, in your house, and that abuser is, you know, doing all kinds of awful stuff, right, to your family members in the house. And of course, you want to escape, but you also want other people to escape. So you manage to get yourself out of the house, but this abuser is still in the house abusing people, right? So you're free, you're out of the house, but you know that this place still exists where people are getting abused. It's kind of like that for me. It's kind of like I just feel like my life and our lives, and you do you. I'm not telling you what to do. It shouldn't all just be about escaping. I feel like the longer I'm here, the longer I'm seeing things play out, the longer I'm seeing this system, which on the surface looks like it's getting stronger, but when you take a step back and you zoom out, you're seeing what I feel like a system that's in its death throes. It knows that it's losing the narrative on so many topics. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of brainwashed people out there, but I don't think this is going to take everyone. I said recently on a TikTok that I did that I think that we're maybe winning the war on consciousness, but we may be winning the battle of the war on consciousness, but we've not won the whole war, right? So we're winning a battle, but we've not won the whole war. So we need to keep pushing forward, striding forward, keep exposing the truth while we can, because, you know, there's talk of them. Yeah, this is the other thing. There's talk of them in Australia. I think on the 21st of December, they're going to need ID for the internet, to get on the internet and social media and all of that stuff. So I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's going to go ahead, but I know for sure they would like to do that. They would love to put a lid on information, because it's just everywhere now. It's coming out everywhere. People are really just not listening to mainstream anymore. And I'm not just saying that from a place of hopium. I'm saying that from a place of being involved in this for probably nearly 15 years now, and seeing a time where when news articles would come out, everyone would be like liking and commenting and discussing how the government solutions were good, and then they'd call you a conspiracy theorist, like you would be like a lone wolf, a lone voice. But now it's the opposite, and you're seeing like thousands of laughing emojis when they're introducing like the next strain of the convid and all of that stuff. So I'm really seeing a shift, and it just feels like they're losing that narrative. So, and you can see it in real time how they're running for the finishing line. They are. There's a new psyop nearly every day now. I mean, in the UK right now, it's incredible what's going on there. Like every day I wake up and there's a beheading or there's murders and all this kind of stuff. And of course, a day later they're coming out saying these train murders, like literally a day later, they're coming out and saying that they need to make train stations more like airports, and we need more security, and it's for your safety and all of this stuff. And so we're going to see more of that, and we're going to see more bigger psyops. We're going to see bigger events. And this is what I was saying in the TikTok, that we need to remain calm. I think most people on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, you get it. But there's still a lot of people that when these events happen, they're in their feelings. They immediately react how these psychopaths want them to react. And of course, when we all react like that, that's when they roll their solutions out, which is more safety and all of that stuff. So, and I said on another video that I think that they're going to make these psyops so big that eventually they're going to use children, and they're going to use the kids' cards, because that really gets people in their emotions. And we're going to see more of this. It's going to be more and more intense. And going back to the kids' cards, when you look at, obviously I'm from the UK, we were once armed, and we had a psyop, a Dunblane school shooting, and they used that event to disarm the British public. Now the British public, they can't defend themselves properly, and this is what they've been doing in the US. So Emily says you can feel they're kind of getting desperate and even more predictable. Yeah, because it is pattern recognition, and so once you see the patterns, it's almost like it almost gets to the point where you don't even have to really look into it all, because you just know it's a psyop, and like they never let a crisis go to waste. And I said recently on a video, sometimes they do kill people, like 9/11, for example. Sometimes they will actually kill people and injure people. But, a lot of the times crisis actors, they do dummy runs. They did a dummy run on the one at the weekend. And so, and the problem is, particularly in the UK, is that they're using immigration, right? And a lot of people are very emotive about that subject. And because what they have done is they've drummed up hate in people. Now, this is an internal thing, because you cannot hate people you haven't met unless deep down at some level you hate yourself, right? This is what's going on. So people are projecting their internal hate via the immigration thing out onto the world. They're using that to project what is inside of them. Now, I'm not saying all these immigrants are good people and innocent, and I'm sure there's bad immigrants just like there's bad white people, just like there's bad black people, just like there's bad Mexican people, just like there's bad, you get my point. but it's that internal work, which people don't want to do. So that's the inner work, the inner child work, because if you've still got, and I say this from a place of my own journey where, and I've said this before, I'll be completely honest with you guys. At the start of all of this, yes, I cared about everything and I was exposing stuff. But I look back now and I was also projecting a lot of my own internal pain out onto the world. It gave me a reason to, shout and scream about what my inner child was shouting and screaming about. Now, obviously, I've spent a huge amount of time and months and years working on myself and doing the energetic work and the inner work. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like the finished article. But when I'm exposing things now and I'm talking about things now, I'm doing it from a place of being way more healed than what I was before. I'm not just like barking at things, projecting at the world because I'm in pain internally. And this is what is going on with a lot of these people, right? They have so much internal pain and hatred. Because self-loathing at the deepest level is a real thing. We are a slave race, essentially. Many of us have been here for, several lifetimes, recycled. And so when you're treated as a slave and you're basically being bullied and stuff, right, that develops into a kind of self-loathing, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy. And that extends into other behaviors that maybe stops us from shining our light onto the world, stops us from speaking our truth. We don't, we're a half version of what we're meant to be. So this is really, I've said this so many times recently. This isn't just about figuring out there's a group of evil people that want to kill us all, and the entities behind those evil people. This is an internal path, an internal road that is about your self path of reaching your own sovereignty and doing your work and healing yourself. Because when you properly heal yourself, you start oscillating at a different frequency. Now, the whole high vibration thing in the New Age is kind of a half truth, because their idea of healing is, sit under a tree and sing Kumbaya, and that's going to raise your vibration. No, it won't do anything. Like, they don't care if you do stuff like that. What they really don't want you doing is the true healing work, working on your energy, clearing all that stuff, all that junk, and then you're oscillating at a truly higher frequency, that sovereign frequency, as I call it. That's what they really don't want people doing. This is why there are so few modalities out there that actually heal people. So you have like mainstream psychology, which is basically useless. And then if you don't take that, then the alternative is like the New Age psychology, which is, the love and light, which is also useless, right? So that they funnel people into these different routes where no one ever gets any further. And so finding the right stuff can be challenging. So you've got a whole bunch of unhealed people out there that think it's just about working out that, there's evil people that want to do evil things, and that's just half of it. That's important, but the other part, the inner work, the doing the mucky part, if you like, that is that's the stuff that they don't really want people doing. Because when you become more healed, you're able to talk about things, from a more balanced and calm place. You don't see what's going on with all these people that are full of rage and anger is they can't discern the psyops because they're so emotional and feeling, I hate these immigrants. Look what they're doing now, right? It's like because they're coming from that angle, they're falling for every single one of them. Right, they're falling for every single one of them because they're not coming from a place. They can't take a few deep breaths and think, hang on a minute, let's just take a step back. Who does this benefit? This is a question we always have to ask. Who does this benefit? Okay, I see that if this happens the way they're saying it is, they're going to want to bring in more security. What does that mean for us? Okay, that means less freedom. Okay, they're going to want to go down the digital route with that. And so there we go, right? So you cannot discern things properly if you're unhealed. So that's a very important point in all of this. So guys, we've got 95 people on here, 28 likes. So please, if you if you don't mind, just 1 second to hit that like button just helps me out a lot. So I'm just going to go to questions because I've just done some rambling here. Okay, 25k, congrats. Yeah, I hit 25,000 subs recently. It's only taken me like, when did I start this? 2005. What are we now? 2020, 2000. No, I started in 2015. We're 2020. It's taken me 10 years, right? Imagine if I wasn't shadow banned. Right? It's like, and you get all these new cages that, they get to like 25k in a week. Like if I was talking about all the love and light stuff, I would have been on like triple, quadruple what I am now. How do you feel about donating an organ to a kidney, like a kidney or somebody, when an entity has attached itself to that organ? Does it stay when it's other person's body? I mean, well, talking about organ donation, I would opt out on that, especially if you're in the UK. They will automatically donate your organs unless you opt out. So I used to have when I was a little bit brainwashed, because obviously they sell out organs and all this nefarious stuff with it. So if you want to opt out of that, unless of course you want your organs taken from you and given to who knows what, to who knows who, for what reason, probably some ritual. But yeah, I mean, if it was me, I would energetically clear the organ first, before it went in the person's body. That's the thing with energy work. You can go local with it. You can work on your heart. You could work on your heart, just clearing implants and stuff, etheric implants and grids and interfaces and all of this stuff. So yeah, that's what I would do when energy. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the time the body rejects the organ, doesn't it? It doesn't always. There can be complications. Whether that's down to an entity, I don't know. But the other thing that I was reading the other day about circumcision, they're taking that and selling that, and the foreskin and all of that stuff of the child. So yeah, all of it's just. I said recently on a post, like, one of my worst nightmares is ending up in a hospital. I think that's why all ghosts hang around in hospital. I think they build them on energy points, ley line points, to harvest all the pain and suffering. And you got people poking around with utensils in your body and giving you drugs, and like if you're dying, you don't know what drugs they're giving you, like morphine up to the eyes. What's that? What effects that going to have on your consciousness when you pass over? I'm convinced actually there is a way that we can just leave the body. I believe that ancient civilizations knew how to do this. I believe that that information has been suppressed, hidden, probably deleted. I'm actually actively, and it's something that I want to bring in my training course group, to look more into details of that. There's talk of like unwinding the consciousness from the nervous system, and I think there is a way to do it. I don't believe that we have to go through all the pain and suffering. This should just be a place where, okay, I've had enough of this experience now. I'm gone. I'm going to go. I believe that's what we can do, and I feel like that information will come to light over the next few years, because all the information is coming to the surface now. So when we're talking about the soul trick, wouldn't it be way much easier if there was a way? Well, I'm convinced there is a way, because we can astral travel, right? If we can astral travel, we can leave the body. So why can we not do that consciously? When we choose that we've had enough of this realm. So I'm looking into that at the moment, and anyway, if anyone's got any information there, just pop me an email via my website, transcendingtimes.org. So yeah, Hopefully that answers the question. What's the best way to transmute sexual energy safely? Through your purpose. Your sexual energy is your creative energy. So what you need to do is, especially if you're a male, see what they've done is they've funneled that into things like porn, and they've sexualized society. So, but if you, as a man, if you practice what no fap, which is basically not touching yourself, right? You retain that sexual energy, and you are able to funnel that into what you're supposed to be doing in life. And for me, like retaining that, it's like I'm able to write better articles. I'm able to be more productive during the day. My cognitive functioning is quicker. And I believe even when it comes to like intercourse, we're going really deep down the rabbit holes today, but I've looked into all of this stuff. I believe that if you could hold on and not, how can I say it? If you could not ejaculate, there's some really rude British words that I won't use. They just spring to mind, obviously. Yeah, if you can hold on, because I think that energy is only supposed to be used to create a baby, right? So unless you're having a baby, there's no real need to release that energy, because it's creative energy. It creates baby, it creates life, right? Along with the woman's egg. So when you lose that and you keep letting go of it, let's say, you lose all that creative energy, which can drive you into your purpose, into your into what you feel like you should be doing, whether that's writing music or writing books, or I don't know, whatever your thing is, right? We've all got something. So yeah, it's that's what I think on that. And yeah, so how can you stop psychic attacks? Well, you can't really stop what other people are going to do, right? You can't stop, like I can't stop people having thoughts like they hate me. I've got a lot of haters, obviously, like plant medicine people, new age people, like soldiers, like just I got a lot of factions of people that hate me. And the best way with any energy interference is to learn how to clear yourself, right? Manage your own energy. So you can't stop people thinking things. You can't stop people having bad intentions against you. What you can do is clear it. So feelings have become very shallow. That's why they call it shallow media, not real media, not real people on social media. Yeah, I mean, you've got all the, like the people that use social. I use social media, but literally, I only use it for spreading awareness and truth. Like I hate all the attention. I was saying to a friend the other day, it's like, I could do without it. I wouldn't mind doing, like I say, like a YouTube channel where I go and investigate like derelict buildings, especially here in Mexico. I've spoken before, like they got so much crazy, strange stuff here, like brujas, the witches, like La Llorona, the white dressed woman that she roams around Mexico and Latin America because she killed her two children and her husband because she found out her husband having an affair. So there's some wonderful ghost stories here. There's an island in close to Mexico City where they've got all these creepy dolls hanging up. Right, I forget the name. You can Google it. Right, just Google Creepy Doll Island, Mexico City, and I want to go there. Like I'd love to go there at night and film stuff. But yeah, all this stuff, all this attention, and I've had like threats and stuff lately, which is really not pleasant. But I just can't shut my gob. You know what I mean? I just like sometimes I think, oh, maybe I'm overstepping the mark. I'm putting myself out there too much, but I literally can't. Like life to me is not worth living. Like this is do or die for me. You know what I mean? It's it's too important. It's too important that we get this right. And for me, like I say, I want to bring this thing down on the way out, and we do that through frequency. And there is definitely a shift happening on a frequency level. And yeah, that's how I feel right now. So, but yeah, there's a lot of people that use social media to just post dinner pictures, and I mean, just post all their personal information. Like when they've had an argument with their partner, it's like, really, you're going to put that in front of like hundreds and thousands of people? Like, I mean, people really show like how unhealed they are on social media sometimes. Um, so in some ways, sometimes I think that where this is headed, with all the digital stuff, maybe it will come to a point where we're just like, you know what, it's better off without technology. Let's just throw the phones away. I mean, think about it. Like, I was born in '79, so I knew what it was like in the '90s, like the early 2000s. And like we used to have landlines. You wanted to call someone, you'd go around the corner and use a phone box. Like, we didn't have all of this stuff. We weren't living our lives on social media. People used to eat at the dinner table and speak to each other and converse. And in many ways we're connected, but in many ways we're disconnected. And I just wonder whether it's going to get to the point where, like, there's gonna be so much overreach with all the facial recognition and the digital stuff, that I just feel like maybe there's going to be a huge swathe of people that just get their phones or just chuck them in a lake, and just say, you know what, we're done with it. Like, let's just go back to how it was. It wasn't as bad as like, we've become so addicted. And like, even myself, like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect. I spend a lot of time like scrolling and looking at info. I mean, I'm all right. I'm looking at things that are important, you could say. But I noticed at the weekend I wasn't online at all, really. And I went around with a friend, and we had a great time. And I was like, wow, I feel so good for not being on there and not looking at it. And I just wonder whether it will just get to that point where we're just like, do you know what? Because in a way, like, if you believe the stories of Atlantis and all that, where we were tempted with technology, it's kind of happened again. Like Apple, right? Apple iPhone, like the temptation. So we've let it to get to a point, but it's, can we roll that back, or is it a case of we walk away from it completely? Because back then it wasn't so bad. Like, it's just, and it's only going to get worse. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, which is tone_sales, if you do want to follow me on there, I post a lot about like the robot stuff. You got robots taking all kinds of jobs. Like, there's not going to be any jobs. You got people flying around in drones. There's videos on there of robots like painting walls, making coffees, like the perfect coffee, making a little heart in it. It's like there's not going to be any jobs for people in the next few years, like, if this keeps on going the way it's going. And I wrote a book about it 10 years ago. I think I just called it Artificial Intelligence, talking about how the jobs are going to be, we're going to lose our jobs and stuff. So, or some of us will anyway. But yeah, anyway, let me just take a swig. Yeah, the Atlas thing, isn't that some kind of comet or something in space that doesn't even exist? It's given me Blue Beam vibes. Yeah, the final card where if nothing else works, they're going to use the fake alien invasion. There's a lot of that at the moment. There's a lot of quote unquote sightings and talk of aliens in the media. So I'm just wondering, for me, that's kind of Project Bluebeam stuff. I mean, the holographic technology they have at the moment is incredible. Like, I saw a video, again, this was on my Instagram, where at the pyramids, they like some kind of weird ritual where they had like this AI robot in the background with all these light streams going on, and it was like a robot, and she knocked on what looked like a window, and the window cracked, and she put her AI head like out of the like into the arena. It was so creepy. But I've seen that as well in festivals. There's a festival here in Mexico called Tomorrowland, which is like electronic music, techno music, and they have all this AI like in the background with robots, and like all the young people are well into it. You know, obviously they want to indoctrinate the young with all the AI stuff. So I don't know what I was getting onto there. Yeah, I was just talking about the holographic technology that they've got available to them. Probably they have stuff way more advanced than that. You know, they only show us, you know, whatever they've got. You can always think that that's like 10 years ago that was developed. So, guys, we've got 133 on here, only 61 likes. So 133 people, 61 likes. So if you wouldn't mind, yeah, just whacking that like for me quickly. Dealing with narcissists for years really helped me to feel how this place works. We live in a world of psychopathic narcissists. Yes, yeah, I've said for a long time that narcissists, sociopaths, they're just entities embodied in a human vessel. You're not even really dealing with a person. That's why they have no empathy. I've said for a long time that murderers and rapists, these are all entities. They're not humans. You know, this is the extent of what we're dealing with. Like people in the alternative think that it's just, you know, the 1% that are hosted by entities. It's not. There's people like that all around us, right? Especially now that a lot of the people took the poke. I think that opened people up to heavier attachments. And so, yeah, you've got to be really discerning. You've got to be discerning with who you allow close to you. These entities will love bomb you. That's happened to me several times, love bite relationships, because this is all being set up in the astral. So they are setting these things up. These people will come into your life. On the surface, they will be everything that you wanted, literally to a T. You could write a list, right? What you're looking for in a partner, you know, 10 things, let's say, and then boom, this person comes in, got exactly the same 10 things, exactly the same, right? And then slowly but surely the mask slips, and you're dealing with an absolute nutcase, psychopath, sociopath. You got smear campaigns, you're being gaslit, you're being like. And then what does that do? It takes you off your path, takes you off your purpose, it wastes your time. Some people get caught up in those for years. Like I've worked with clients, they've been stuck in these situations for like 10 years plus. In my situations, I noticed pretty quickly what I was dealing with, and I got the hell out. Like even though it was painful, you know, it hurt like hell because, you know, when I love hard, right? I've got a big heart and I give a lot, and you know, that's not easy to roll back when you've given so much of yourself. It's not easy to just cut that. And on top of that, you've got all the etheric cords, the sexual cords, which, you know, maintain that connection. This is why it's so difficult to leave these people, because there's energetic cords tying you to that person. So it's a multifaceted problem, and it can in some extreme cases it can end people's lives, because people will. Sometimes it's so painful to go through an experience like that. People actually end up ending things. So this is no joke, right? This is no joke when you're allowing people into your inner circle. And you know, you can't think that everyone's like that, but you really gotta look for the love bombing early on. If it's a romantic thing, you know, is this person like overly like love bombing me? You know, that same thing with the false light tunnel energy. It's like, wow, they're really like, You know, they want a family after like a week being with you. They want your baby. They want to get married, and they're like, hang on a minute, whoa, got a few red flags here. So you've got to look out for those things, and you know, just slowly catchy monkey. Like if you're with someone, because it's hard. Like when you're, I've said before, we all want love, we all want connection. You know, humans, we're actually we need connection, physical touch. They've done studies on it, like how that can heal, like literally. And now there's an agenda where they want everyone single. I mean, they broke up the family unit with feminism, and now like if you look at all this propaganda everywhere, like Jordan Peterson and all that stuff, they're telling like, you know, be single, be single, be solo, lone wolf. Like they're kind of like promoting this. The other reason to that is they don't want people in tribes and in groups, you know, so they want people on their own, right? So so my point is that yeah, we all want love and connection. It's just that through our, especially when you're in this kind of arena, it's lonely, right? It's a lonely path to walk. You know, most people think you're nuts. Most people think you're a conspiracy theorist. So already you feel alone. And a big part of that healing that is to do the inner work as well, because the more healed internally you are, you can make better decisions because you're not doing it from a place of abandonment or betrayal. So yeah, we all want that love and connection. And the other thing as well, the love here is because people are kind of unhealed in general, it's kind of more of a conditional love, more than an unconditional love. So love in human terms, where we are right now in our consciousness is very much like kind of transactional in many ways. So yeah, it's just a case of being discerning as always. So Tony, I think I'll be booking a session on the 7th if your schedule is free. I haven't got my schedule in front of me, but just email me. You can email me through my website, transcendingtimes.org, and we can set that up for sure. If we can't do the 7th, then we'll do another day. Sorry, I'm just going through all the questions here. Your course is so good, thank you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The course. Yeah, the course is good, like I say, because it enables you to manage your own energy, and it's a community as well. So, and like I say, I do the monthly live Q&As, and we're all finding different things, and some of us are working on planetary stuff. And like I say, we're going to veer off into different subjects, telekinesis abilities, you know, ways to leave the body when we want to leave the body, when we've had enough. As I mentioned before, looking more into astral travel. So I've got bigger plans coming up. So yeah, that's also on my website. So David Icke got unbanned from YouTube. David Icke. Oh man. I mean, that guy, he started my awakening, but recently, the people that's associated with him, he's had Tommy Robinson on his show, he's had Fiona Rose Diamond on his show, who's controlled. He's had Elizabeth April on his show, you know, that kind of new cager who I've reviewed. He likes, who's that woman? The one that's in the Soul Trap community, that's dealing with all the community, the Kundalini energy. I don't like her. Can't remember her name at the moment. He's also getting people to sign petitions, right? I mean, petitions. Hello, how is that sovereign? And what annoyed me with the recent one is that the UK just had its biggest petition ever refused. It had over 3 million signatures around digital ID. So even off the back of that, you'd think it's not worth doing another one, despite the fact that it leads you back into appealing to authority, right? Authority is an illusion. Authority doesn't exist. There's no masters or slaves. That's an illusion that they've created, right? Government. It's like you. The only leader is you. You're your highest authority. That's where I believe people should be. If like no one should be led anyway, right? But if you are, let's say, a trailblazer, let's call it like that. If you're a trailblazer, you want to be leading people back to their own sovereignty, reminding them of their own authority. No leaders, no saviors. You're here to save yourself. And for me, that puts you into your sovereign frequency. When you embody that, that puts you into your sovereign frequency. So you're oscillating in sovereignty on an energetic point of view. And he's fronting up the protests in London, marching up and down ley lines, getting your energy harvested. These are all on energy points. It's always on a Saturday. No one's at home on Saturday. The governments are not even in their buildings. And what it is, it's coming from a place of begging, right? Petitions, protests. Please, please don't do this to us anymore. Please, please. That is not sovereignty. Sovereignty is saying, no, I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? I'm not doing that. Right? So it's almost like, there's a lot of truth, right? A lot of truth. Like even today I was listening to him talking about Musk and Trump and he was calling them out. And I was thinking, yeah, great, right? But when you're leading people back into protests and petitions away from people's sovereignty, I have to question it. Like I question everyone, right? And I'd want people to question me if I was doing that. So, and now all of a sudden he's unbanned on YouTube, and like there's no filters on his channel, right? Like I explained before, I'm 25,000 subs. It's taken me since 2015 to get there. All right, it's David Icke. Yeah, he's got a bigger name than me, but already his videos are getting like 45,000 views, and like, at this pivotal point, like, I don't know, just, yeah, I don't know, just be your own leader. That's the main thing. So how can I stop feeling scared for my grandkids' future? I know I'm playing into the fear agenda, but my maternal instinct is overpowering. You know what? Fear is a natural thing, right? People say, oh, like, don't be fearful, right? That's a very easy thing to say. And of course, I'm not saying like, if you're consumed by fear, that's not good, because that then stops you from being able to function properly. And of course, we have to be brave and courageous, and we have to move through fear. But fear is a natural emotion to something that's not right and to a threat, right? It's like telling an antelope not to be fearful when a lion is chasing them, right? So it's very difficult to just stop being like, just like, I wouldn't say I'm in fear, but I have moments where I'm like, there's uncertainty. There's uncertainty. I've got a niece and nephew. There's uncertainty for them. There's uncertainty about what's going on, with my family members and stuff like that. And, you think about like, how is it going to end for us? Like, there's uncertainty. So that's a normal emotion, which, you have to go through it to, discern what you're going to do and how you're going to make your way through these times that we have. If it's really non-stop, continuous, then that can be entity interference, because they will be the voices in the head constantly, like making things, because they amplify everything. They're opportunities, right? So they turn up the volume on things. So if you've got a fear, they'll make sure the volume is turned up to like 100%. So if it's overwhelming, then it becomes a case of probably there's interference going. It can also be inner work as well. The more you plug those holes, because when we have, okay, for an example, when we were told back in 2020 to stay in our homes, right? I knew what it was, obviously, straight away, but it triggered me so bad. It triggered me internally so bad. And I thought, okay, I know this is BS, but I'm really internally being triggered to the point where I felt overwhelmed. And anyway, what I did was I went in and did some inner work, which was to do with around being bullied when I was a kid at school. Because that was what was going on, right? We were being bullied. We were being told what to do against our will, and this massive announcement where they literally shut the world in their homes. I mean, I didn't stay at home, but it triggered that unhealed part of me. So it made me go into overwhelming fear. So these things can be multifaceted. They could be there is with most of us some kind of blind spot internally that needs to be worked on to lessen that, so you're more calm. So the more you do that internal work, the less fear that you will feel by proxy. So yeah, these triggering events can be triggering parts of us that are unhealed, and don't. Also, it's just downright evil as well. Like, we're dealing with a level of evil here, which is it's kind of hard to deal with, right? Like, it's not. I'm not saying it's all our fault, but it's we're dealing with a very apparent evil which knows no bounds. It knows no limits, right? So let's not forget that as well. But what I'm saying is, the more you can work on yourself internally, that it takes the edge off it. Let's say that. It's been a weird week energetically. Yeah, I mean, right now it's a loosh fesh out there because they're a huge psyop nearly every day, as I mentioned before. So hold the lines. You're not alone. This is why it's good to have like a group to connect with, to speak about this stuff. But that's the thing. We're all kind of different parts of the world on our own. So yeah, the problem is the young generation doesn't know any different. They can't even imagine a day without their mobile phone. Tell me about it. Yeah, it's scary, and parents have to take responsibility for that. The other day I was here in Mexico. Can't remember where I was, but yeah, it was in like a real. I went to visit this kind of like traditional village, and there was just this little girl, and her mum just handed her this iPad, and I'm like, wow, there's iPads here in this traditional village, and she was just like watching her daughter just play this iPad, and I'm just thinking, that's another one down. They get hooked at an early age with all these games, and parents are already hooked, so they're encouraging it. And of course, it's it's kind of lazy parenting, because really what they should be doing is, banning it really, and saying, no, we're gonna speak, we're gonna play proper games. I'm gonna take you over to the park. We're gonna play some sports. But now it seems like they just hand their kids mobiles or these iPads and just let them get on with it. And it keeps them quiet. But what are they actually being taught? I mean, it's just, it's lazy really when you think about it. Yeah, as elders, we need to teach our young ones to do their own thinking. You know what? Like the Native Americans, they used to think in terms of 7 generations ahead. So they used to have meetings and think about how is the way we're living going to affect not just this generation, but 7 generations ahead. Imagine that. And now we don't even think about this generation. I mean, in school, schools, like, really? The kids there being taught, like, you can be one of 80 different genders. Like, they're putting up all these masks up around the schools. They're having like like drag queens coming in, teaching them stuff. Like everything they're being taught is lies. You know, I just think schools, like, we got to do better. I think we got to do better in terms of making better decisions, because they're just prison cells, really. I mean, and you're punished. You're punished for questioning authority. You get detention. You get put on report. I mean, it's just. I think we should all wake up and just not send them to school. Really. I mean, I know it can be challenging, but some people are doing it. You know, there's people that are not sending kids to schools. Yeah, see, Martha says, I still have some hope. 20 years ago, we homeschooled our children. And when the nonsense started in 2020, they were able to think. Absolutely, there's the point. They were able to think because they got their own mind. And, you know, credit to you, Martha, for doing that. I got another client, and she's like Native American background. She's like, Tony, we're always out in nature. We're out camping. Like, they're not at school. Like, yeah. So, you know, it's an emotive subject for people because, you know, I understand the government make it difficult and all that stuff. And like, if you're a single parent, like, it's challenging. But the truth's the truth. Like, these places are evil, really. So. Sorry. How do you tell the difference between correct discernment and your own bias? Good question. Let me just take a swig. Guys, we've got 159 on here, 96 likes. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you just take 1 second out of your day to hit the like button, just while I take a swig of water. Yeah, so how do you know the difference between discernment and your own bias? It's a feeling. I always say truth is a frequency. It's something that you feel, and it's a resonance. So everything has a frequency. I have my own personal frequency. Rosemary in the chat, who I've known for years, hi Rosemary, she'll have her own personal frequency. The psychopaths have their frequencies, which is why when sometimes I review these people, I just feel into them. I'm like, no. So everything has a frequency, even truth itself, and it's like a gut feeling, you know. It's you feel it deep down in your gut. So whereas like what the New Agers do is they discern on what feels good, what makes them feel happy and good inside, which isn't that's not a frequency of the truth. That's just a frequency of, oh, that makes me feel good. So because that makes me feel good, I'm going to go with it. That's what religious people do. You know, they bypass the frequency of truth for the frequency of feeling good, hopium, if you like. So yeah, and it's a practice as well. It's like we've become so we've forgotten how, like, literally, we've forgotten how to think. It's like this is where we're at. Most people have forgotten how to think, or they've allowed others to do the thinking for them through their own laziness. In the war, we're going to tell you what science is. We're going to tell you that. And so the person is being told what to think, and then that extends into adulthood through government, and then they tell you what to think, how to live your lives, what to do, and it's all our thinking has been done for us, but it's not the right kind of thinking. And so what we're actually a point in our history of learning to do is learning how to think again. The more you feel into it and feel that resonance of truth, the more you recognize it. And so, and then you can like spot the anomalies. And like I say, there can be, with many people, there can be up to like 90% truth, right? Where they'll give you a lot of truth, and you'll be like, yep, tick, 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 and then, oh, hang on, no, that's not feeling right. That feels like deception. And that's the thing that we have to look out for. And I made another video recently about infiltration, how this has they infiltrate everything, guys. Like they infiltrated the 60s, the hippie movement. Like those hippies were onto something, but they infiltrated it, gave them all LSD, and basically hijacked the whole movement, got everyone into love and light. They infiltrate different sectors of the alternative media. They infiltrate the alternative health part. They infiltrate the alternative spirituality. They infiltrate protests. They infiltrate marches. They infiltrate, like, it's like a spider, right? It's like or an octopus. It's like an octopus. And this is what I was talking about when I made the video about the architect, this distorted form of consciousness that has infiltrated this reality. That is playing out now in all aspects of this movement. You're seeing the octopus get his tentacles in all these different sectors of the alternative movement, because it wants to direct you over here when we need to be we need to be going over here. So it's a master of infiltration, and it's done it so much. And yeah, our thoughts are infiltrated, right? Via entities, via etheric implants. Everything is infiltration. And I don't think people grasp the level of the infiltration as deeply as they need to. There are a lot of people on my YouTube channel that do, because we've gone down the whole, deceptive entities, false light beings, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of that, like the general kind of awake community, certainly like on Facebook and TikTok, I don't think they really grasp just how much infiltration goes on. They have their key people in all aspects of this awakening. Now, and I've been listening to Max Spears again recently, and who was basically murdered. And man, his heart energy, that guy was really coming from the heart. And he was speaking a lot of truths. I don't agree with everything that he said. I was listening to some of it, and I don't think that everything that he said was, but certainly a lot of what he was saying was definitely true. And there was one video that I was watching with him, with his girlfriend, Sarah Adams, who I never had a good feeling of. I think she was involved in his death. And she used to use trigger words around him, which would trigger different personalities, because he had all this MK Ultra programming and stuff. And there was the video was with someone called Miles Johnson, and I don't like his energy. Him and her were around him, and they were almost like putting words in his mouth. And the people around him, right? So I was looking at the infiltration just around him, right? Just around him, he was being infiltrated. This is why I don't really, I'll do interviews with people and stuff, and I'll have certain people on my channel, but it will take me a long time to gain their trust, and a long time to sit with their information before I'll invite them on. I don't really get pally with a lot of people in this movement. I don't have a huge amount of trust for for many people, not everyone, right? But I'm very careful with who I surround myself with. I mean, I don't really surround myself with anyone. But the other problem with him was, it's getting a little bit dark in here. I might need to turn the light on. 1 second. Well, that's nothing. Okay. But the other thing with him was because of his trauma, he turned to drugs and alcohol and stuff like that to try and deal with some of the stuff that had gone on. So I think that was kind of a weak spot for him. So that was sad because that was also used against him in the end. But some of his work, well, a lot of his work was very good. He talks about a lot of this system. It's all attack on the heart. You know, the paedophilia going on, that's attacking the innocence of the heart. The earth is the heart. The earth is the anagram of the, earth is the anagram of the word heart. Heart and earth is the same. And what they're doing is they're trying to break the human heart. And it's the hardest thing to break, he explained. And that really resonates with me. So yeah, he was a kind soul. I really felt his heart energy. He really just wanted to do the best. And that was sad with what happened to him. So just going back to the infiltration point, he himself was being infiltrated, and even to the point, right, that the infiltration goes so deep that they will actually kill off someone and replace them with a robot or a double. I was looking at a video of Biden, right, before and now. Like, I swear he's a robot. The Biden now, when you actually look at the two videos, I think they actually had the president of the US as a robot, right? It's kind of funny when you think about it. So they actually, the infiltration goes so deep where they will actually off someone and replace them or clone them, right? So that's how deep the infiltration goes, guys, right? They will infiltrate to the point where they will replace you. They will off you and replace you with a clone or a robot. So if ever I come on here starting to talk about opposite things that I used to talk about, I mean, I'm always open to changing my mind. I'm not stuck on things. But if ever you see a dramatic change in things that I talk about, and I start talking about, oh, there's good entities and all that stuff, and like, you know, I've been cloned or replaced by a robot, right? I'm just putting that out there now. So that's how it gets away with it. It guides movements, it guides revolutions back into itself, back into the octopus. And this is my point with David Icke. It's like, I'm looking at all his work that he's done. It's like there's so much truth in it, right? But to funnel people back into petitions and protests, like, and why is Max Spears dead and he's not? Like, it don't make sense. So anyway, I've delved into Max. It's funny you should mention him. I've revisited a couple of days ago, watched the game with the one and Miles and the girlfriend was. I can't stand her either. I believe she was in on it too. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that she was. I remember when he died, she was. It's almost like she weren't really even upset. I was looking at her posts. It wasn't even. I didn't get the feeling that there was real sadness there, you know. So, Forever Conscious Research on. Hey man, how you doing? Long time no see. Check out the channel there. Some great NDE reviews there. When we die, we're going to be in a dreamlike state where we can't control ourselves, or we still be conscious and aware of our surroundings. Well, I mean, the idea really is hopefully to be as aware as possible. That's the thing, like, we don't know when we're going to die. It's like, I could walk out of here now, get hit by a bus. So it's almost like we've always got to have that in the back of our mind. This is why it's so important to do the research on all of this and to, like, not think, oh, I'll look into that next month or next year. No, you've got to do it now because you don't know when you don't know when you're going to pop your clocks, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, this is what I was going back to saying before. If we can actually work out how to leave the body with our intention before, we end up in an accident or having an illness or something like that, which I believe we can. We just got to find out how we do it. Then we're going to be in that conscious controlled state. So Max was innocent. Yeah, she's a weirdo. Yeah, she blocked me. Why did she block me? She blocked me because she was coming out with some new age stuff. I can't remember what she said. So yeah, that was sad. What happened to him, Alex? Yeah, the Alex Jones Bill Hicks thing. I've not looked into that, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me at this point. There's that there was that post where they've got all these old actors and they've got pictures of like recent actors next to them, like the likes of Tom Hanks and all that, and they look the same throughout history. And we know that they can do soul transference. I think what they do is when they're about to go, they just transfer the soul into another body. So old videos of Max shape shifting. I don't know about that. I haven't seen that, to be honest. His death and all he went through. So yeah, the other thing with him, it was very hard to find his information. There's one lady that's got a playlist, but if you search his name, like most of his stuff's been taken down. So how long have we been on for? An hour and 11. I think we'll wrap it up because I'm getting kind of hungry. It's getting kind of dark, and I've covered a lot of information. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. Great to see you all. Yeah, I'm going to do some more like videos this week. So I've been traveling a bit, so I've not put so much content out. But yeah, keep your chins up. It's tough out there. Just stay calm, do the work, and smile, because every time you smile, a reptilian goes hungry. So take it easy, guys.